Welcome back, everyone. Sorry I kind of kept pushing the stream back today, and just kept pushing it back and back, really, because just stuff kept popping up, and now here we are, starting late. But I really am eager to sort of just, like, put this to bed once and for all. Not once and for all, you know, but just like Erika and Chidori's story, just to wrap it up in the way that it was intended. Because thanks to Dithyram, I'm sorry, I'm probably mispronouncing your username, but found out thanks to them that this is not the true ending that we achieved last time. But rather that by achieving that lover's end, we've unlocked the true ending. And sorry, I feel like I'm kind of distracted here. Apparently, by playing through the lover's end, you unlock the true route, which includes additional choices. So we're gonna play through that very, like, just quickly, kind of gloss over all the parts that we've already seen, and we're gonna try and, like, get those new scenes and that sort of the true scenes as soon as possible, and trying to comment on them in that way, and really sort of just wrap this up in the way that it was intended. Thank you. I don't know how to pronounce that exactly, but just give me a second and we will get into it very quickly. Or not very quickly. Okay, now I think that our save spots, sorry, I cannot think right now, are just, they're a little bit inconvenient here, so we're just going to start from the beginning and then use the next option until we get a choice that pops up corresponding to. You know what? Let's start from the beginning. I want to comment on the nature of the prologue, knowing that, well, yeah, the nature of the prologue, knowing what we know about Erika's reaction to Chidori's performance at the end there.
私の心に渦巻いたものは熱狂、そして強烈な嫉妬だった。舞台の上で演じられる眠れる森の美女。彼女の演じるオーロラ姫は情熱を持ってターンを繰り返し、情欲を煽るかのようにその手を優美に突き出し踊った。なぜこんなにも胸が締め付けられるのだろう。彼女の踊るオーロラ姫、そのフェッテ・アントルナを見て、自分の動かない足を恨めしいと思うのだろう。まるで羽が生えているような演技を見せつけられ、私は胸の内に尊敬にも似た畏怖の念すら抱いていることに気づく。いつしか自分の腕で体を抱きしめ、震えを抑えていることに。そして 激しい嫉妬の裏側に確かな情愛を抱いていることも。私はつぶやかずにはいられない。願わくば願わくば私もあの舞台で共に。
So knowing what we know now, and just all of the build-up to not only just like the build-up to that scene, but its conclusion and its aftermath, seeing it from Erica's perspective is she's a lot more, I guess, conflicted about the whole situation than Chidori is, because it's sort of the first time that we see like any sort of bitterness about her disability, which is just sort of a topic that she usually treats lightly, or that she just never really talks about a lot. And to see it here pop up at sort of, or to see like these bitter feelings basically pop up at this pivotal moment in their relationship is also interesting to see, because it's not explored afterwards, especially from her perspective. At least not in the ending that we got. So I love that, like that Dark Knight reference in the beginning. I think that's what told me when I first started playing. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a very and like Erica's like more on my level when it comes to like pop culture references. But we're gonna go ahead and skip all the way to the first choice here. And it looks like this is kind of more of the same. So far, no new choices as of right now. And of course, the one that corresponds to Shiori's route is this one. For the context of this scene, you know, she was messing with the Sasakis, who were asking her why she came to class, which is a surprising and momentous event at this point in time, because she's always ditching class. You know, let me make sure that I have... Okay, yeah, it's just skip the red ones, so even if I auto it, then it will stop on new dialogue lines. Which will do that, and it'll probably proceed at the same rate. Okay, and then so we can skip ahead even more. Little recap of this too. Dolly is asking her her feelings about her situation being ruined with Chidori, and she gives a very truthful answer in this context as well. Again, so we're the same. Context here. Oh, Chidori is asking who's teaching ballet. Picks the joke, I'm pretty sure it goes over Chidori's head. She's asking for assistance to help bathe her, I think, in this situation. So far, nothing new yet. Dang it. Here's one where I messed up and picked the wrong one that corresponded to the wrong route. The game does recognize that I'm playing this with the previous save data, I assume, and I totally forgot what I was gonna say. That like it does have those new choices available at some point. I'll believe it when I see it, of course, when we see that kind of third choice pop up, which is what I'm expecting. But for now, I guess we're only in chapter 1, of course. Expecting to see them at every single junction would just kind of be tedious, even though we would know which one to choose at this point in time, having gone through the game once already. I don't want to make the wrong choice. Start a new save file right here, just to track our progress. Okay, so it was that one. It was the joke that sort of backfired, I think, again in this situation. Moving on to the next one. Eric is prying about Chidori's notebook, which is, you know, something that she keeps very close to her chest, both literally and figuratively.
もしかしてポエムとか書いているわけ？ポエム？ああ、詩のこと。
And of course we know that rather than poems, it's things she keeps track of, things that she likes. Here, I think the choice was this one. Also, here's where I wrongly predicted that Chapter 1 would end. Thinking that I think there's probably some parallel to Chapter 1 in Volume 1 with the pan up to the sky with camera and the fade to black. How wrong I was. I still believe this to an extent. Sorry, Mayuri, not about you right now. Even though the ghost of Mayuri is all over this game. Even in Erika's thoughts herself. Oh, I remember this scene. This scene was really strange. Erika wakes up in the middle of the night, or sometime during the late afternoon, I think, feeling that something's off. And she goes back to sleep without even giving it a second thought. I hit next, I'm like pretty sure, and it stopped me here. What's going on? Oh, there you go. Okay. Now I'm very curious. This... Well, okay, we're given the option to get up, which was not there in the first playthrough, and picking this would lead us along the same route that we were led down the first time, because Erika just chooses to go back to sleep and not investigate. So we're going to investigate, obviously. Pick the one that we haven't been able to do before. Now, I'm a little bit... I'm approaching this situation kind of like with some trepidation, I think. Because you go into the gallery, you go access the endings, the choices of endings, and the ending that we got in our last stream was called the Lover's End, but it's not the true end. So that implies, like, just by, I don't know, some... you know, deductive reasoning thing that I probably can't name at the moment, that the true end, it does not really involve that same, you know, they're not like exactly lovers or something. That's just kind of my assumption here. I mean, it could be, you know, not true, and that the true ending just has some sort of additional implication to go along with their newfound relationship status. But just like the fact that the quote-unquote lover's ending is not the true ending makes me kind of worried. You know, I do think like the romantic development was sort of like a flurry, kind of hits you all at once. Even though Chidori's feelings especially were a long time in the making, Erika's were not, of course. They kind of developed in that moment where she saw Chidori on stage, as we saw in the prologue. Anyway, moving on with this new scene.
I
think I can auto this, just until we get to some new choice.
は。
We get to see what it is now, what was off. It seems fairly innocuous, since Chidori is a very enigmatic character. Very much so at this early point in the game.
慎重にと。やっぱりか。ずいぶん早起きしちまったな。シワになっちまうしな。やっぱりあいつが歌っているのか。悪くない。変わり者め。ま、つまらなくなったら追い出しゃいいんだしな。
I think that was it, as far as new content goes. Oh, sorry, instead of autoing it to skip sort of the things that we read, I have to actually press the skip button to skip the stuff that we read already. That was what the settings are for. I'm dumb. That scene gave us just this early sort of characterization. Erica mentions in passing her family trip to Italy and how it's kind of affected her even to this day about just like physical presentation and how she carries herself. And she also gains this early appreciation for Chidori's singing. I don't think we saw it this early on, at the very least. I think she, she straight up insults it when they first meet, I'm pretty sure. And as far as actually coming around to admit that she likes it and that she enjoys it, I don't think that happened this early. So we're off to a sort of better start, I suppose. Okay, yeah, so this is all...
はい、とってもお上手でした。ありがとうございます、高崎さん。
Yeah, that's all... We've seen it all before. Moving on. We are now at the very tense scene in the chapel. Chidori demonstrates her astounding lack of social awareness and keeps pressing about the sensitive issue of Mayuri, who has at this point well up and disappeared. Pretty sure it was this one I saved, right? Yes, I did. I'm pretty sure it was this one. Yep, we've all seen this before. Moving on. Pretty sure it was this one. Oh my gosh, I'm actually dumb. I fell for the same reasoning that like I did the first time I picked this and that. So it was this one. And that, like, you know, backing Chidori up in this situation is supportive of her, and it seems to correspond to her route, but I guess not. I guess, you know, it alienates you too, further, even, because Chidori is very clearly in the wrong here. So picking the right one, moving on. Very much so. And I think we're now at the first mystery, the mystery of the disappearing bunnies.
Oi. まさか高崎のやつやめたんじゃないだろうな。
Now we know how this pans out for the first playthrough anyway. I wonder how they're going to alter this, if at all.
だから消えたって。
Add scenes, as it seems to be the pattern.
八重垣ちゃん。どこにいるか知らない？高崎のやつやめたのかよ。高崎さん学院やめちゃうの？いや、いなくなったって。勝手に退学者扱いにしてもらっても困るわ。ようやく慣れてきた日常がまた変わるのが面倒なだけだ。
She adjusted rather quickly, despite her many protests. I think this is new? I want to say it is. It would make sense why it stopped me here before, you know, skipping ahead right to the next choice.
何があったの？ウサギがいなくなっちゃったんだよ。いや、そうも言ってられないのか。ねえ、高崎さん、あなたちゃんと管理はしていたの？どういうこと？きちんと鍵はかけていたかということよ。ま、責任の所在になるよな。朝夕の食事の際に世話をしているわ。今朝も世話をしてきちんと鍵をかけてきた。本当なの？八重垣さん。
I don't remember what I picked here, although I want to go with the less antagonizing one. I think that was actually my reasoning last time. And it's the one that made me pick the wrong choice, because apparently my memory is really, really bad. I think we're in familiar territory again, though. Yeah, I think we're in familiar territory again. I just wanted to, like, I thought, like, it stopped me at a strange time, before, like, it stopped me before a choice, so I wanted to, like, go through it and make sure that we weren't missing anything there, but yeah, like, I could easily do that with the skip button, save us some more time, because we're trying to get to, like, those new scenes as quickly as possible. Thanks, though. don't want to get it wrong again, even though we already know the right answer now. It was Chidori. Because her eyesight was bad. The savage question makes us that gives us these 3 false trails, and it's none of them. I swear. To my eternal annoyance, that mystery, it got me. Like that's all I can say. It got me. I was played. Okay, so no bad ending. That was right. Just making sure. And now we pick the real reason behind the mystery. This seems like a good new scene opportunity here at the end of chapter 1, perhaps. So let's go ahead and skip ahead to confirm or deny this. Nope. End of chapter 1. Ends more or less the same, with this tenuous bond being established between the two. And we're right on to chapter 2 here.
なあ、
2 out of 6.
そんな顔をするな
1
ら
out of 6
一
down.
緒にどうって誘ってみたらどうだ
In 27 minutes, I am just blazing through this thing. These are all.
自分が連れてきたとはいえ、さすがに気の毒かも。
These all follow the story that we've seen up until now.
合唱部って知らないのか？聖堂で何度も聖歌を歌っただろ？お前は本当に空気が読めないな。
As much as I want to see those jokes backfire over and over again on Erica, we have a bigger mission here at hand, and it seems like we are at the same crossroads, just like mini crossroads that we were given in chapter 1, and that's listen to Chidori singing or go back to sleep. And of course, given that we weren't allowed this choice the first time, we're going to take advantage of it and do the thing that we weren't allowed to do. Looking at this now and seeing the focus, the additional focus that's placed on the song, I don't know if Erica ever asked Chidori what song she's singing. And I don't think we ever found out. As far as plot points go, it's kind of important, don't you think?
"聖歌のように万人に向けての歌じゃない。だが、
I think I see a pattern here. but I'll withhold that little hunch I have, because of that old saying, when it comes to storytelling techniques and repetition. I said it at some point in Volume 1. I forgot it again. I'm probably going to have to look it up because I'm definitely going to misquote it right now. But it's something along the lines of, once is a coincidence, twice is a pattern, 3 is intentional. I think. I forget exactly what the quote is, but it's something to that effect. And we've seen it twice now, which is that very same scene of Erica. Instead of going back to sleep and forgetting about Chidori singing, she actually listens to it. Something tells me it's, not the last that we see of it, of course, because it's not the last time that Chidori sings it, even in the story that we've seen up until now. Yeah, same. Okay, next. Chidori asks her to study. Nothing short of a breakthrough there.
冴えない時間をやっぱり夏はこれだよな。それだけだと栄養が偏りそうね。相変わらずサラダだけのやつには言われたくないね。でも涼やかでいいわね。
She is a ballet expert after all. That's what we learned from the extensive commentary this game has on ballet. You never let the pain show in your face. It seems like Chidori is pretty good at this technique, to say the least.
収穫祭を過ぎてから一気に暑くなったよな。
Oh, none of this is new. Why did it stop me there? Okay, yeah, that does seem all to be more or less what we read before. So I think that's safe to go to next. Skip ahead a little bit more just to make sure. And yeah, this scene is familiar. Oh, and we were on to chapter 3 already. Because, that's right, chapter 2 ended with Suo and Erica talking about how Suo needs to, try and snap herself out of her funk and get to the bottom of that very pressing mystery that was forced upon her at the end of Volume 1.
白羽がされたらショックで白目向きそうだ。
That's right, it shows right now. There we go. Okay, green for Chidori. We're making good progress here. Should be done within a somewhat timely manner.
今の話の流れだと
Our flower is growing quite nicely in the corner and at a much faster pace this time. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna look up this quote to make sure I don't misquote it a second time, because that is just embarrassing. Here, let me just look up the keywords here. Oh, it's Okay, yeah, I did misquote it. Of course, me being me. The actual quote is, as far as I'm really, just recognizing patterns, but especially in storytelling, it's once is an accident, twice is coincidence, and 3 times is a pattern. So, I mean, obviously they wrote this in mind for it to be the recurring theme, especially in this true ending that we're trying to unlock. But just reading through it the first time, it's important to like pick up on whether it really is a recurring theme. And the easiest way to do it is, I guess, put it a different way to follow the rule of threes. But the rule of threes isn't exactly the same thing. It's a comedic rule, I think. But of course, we're going to continue on that same track that we've established in the first two. And this actually brings up a really interesting point. If you would humor me and let me talk for a little bit more, foregoing speed or convenience, Erika has, at this point in the game, mentioned multiple times that she's very averse to singing in public. That says nothing as to her actual singing talent and her skill. It just kind of is more indicative of the fact that she hates doing it in public or in front of other people. And I think I expressed at this point in the game, playing through it the first time, that I wanted to hear her sing. Just if she disproved me and told me, oh, I suck at singing, and then like she actually did suck, I'd be like, okay, you proved it. But the fact that she never did, I just kind of forgot about it. It stopped being, in her thoughts, and as such, it stopped being in ours. It looks like it's not going to be the case here. Well, I guess I got my wish. Erika was really putting herself down before she launched into that, her own rendition. And I kind of just chalked it up to her being just self-deprecating, as she always is, that she was downplaying her own ability. I can't say, I'm no vocal coach or even an expert in this topic. But I can't say definitively whether that was bad. If anything, she had a basic understanding of the pitch. And of course, trying to emulate that a cappella without accompaniment is very difficult. But comparing yourself to someone like Chidori, who is obviously very talented at it, is just not fair. Moving on now. They both get caught up in the recitation because they're talking. Not very smart. Sorry, Komikado, I have to cut you off.
ま、どちらかといえば王子役なんじゃないか。
Personally, I wanted to burn her in that moment. Even more so because she does end up playing the witch anyway. Erika's own opinion doesn't matter. And that it doesn't affect the outcome, I should say. It does matter, but it doesn't affect the outcome there. This seems familiar. I'm gonna skip ahead. Yeah.
君に会いに来たんだ。
We go ahead, all the no new scenes there. It seems to be one per chapter. So we're gonna solve this real quick. Get on with it. This is the end. I'd like to, you know, bask in my own accomplishment because I'm just that conceited, but this is the only mystery in this game that I solved without having to look anything up. I think I got it, like I said before, I think I got it right for the wrong reasons, but I also don't think that you, as the reader, are intended to like, cue into, like, the little threads that they leave you, that these characters really do key in on, and what allows them to solve the mystery. You're just supposed to notice the things, what's off, and not why it's off, or the specific details of what's off. You're just supposed to catch on to it in a general sense, I think. It's frustrating because you never really know if you're right, just thinking in generalizations like that, but what can you do? Same. I think we're on chapter 4 now. This one really was obvious. Spending more time with Chidori. It's no contest. Oh, music theory. Is it? I forget what they're talking about. Oh, can you read music?
少しはあるっちゃあるが。
Oh no, they're talking about singing again. Ah, I skipped ahead too far to go back. It's looking more and more like, though, that is a facet of their relationship that will be sort of maybe explored in these last 4 chapters.
別に尋ねてもおかしくないでしょう。
Dahlia is asking about Suo, who, you know, I still, and I will repeat this as ad nauseum, because I have already, I still believe she had a part in it, or in it being Mayuri's disappearance. Now's not the time for that. Let's move on.
手順を見て大体覚えた。
発音ですが、さしすせそのしは SI ではなく、スイと発音してください。
Prevents Ichigo from suffering the full extent of Dahlia's wrath.
はい。そう言われるのはいい。 高崎の歌か。いい歌だが。
I guess in this chapter... Oh no, wait, what? I wasn't allowed to skip. I thought this was all... just that little passing comment was it. But I guess not.
どうしたの？こんな場所で。
I remember at the time I was like a little... I was hoping that we would get to tail Suo and see what sort of activities, suspicious activities that she was up to, but we know now that following her in this case was a little bit fruitless. Erika just kind of confirmed the fact that she was still looking for Mayuri. Although this... Oh, they didn't? Like the ones that you unlock when you complete more of the game. I don't think that's unlocked yet in the gallery, because we've only gotten one ending, but... Guess I gotta study up on Japanese a little bit. It's already kind of terrible. My Japanese is already terrible. That's just another reason I gotta learn more of it. And you know, it's always, you know... It's always a pleasure to see, like, them put, you know, additional effort into the game that they didn't really need to just by talking about it more and things like that. So yeah, it kind of is a shame, but I might just listen when I do unlock it and see if I can catch the gist of it.
夕涼みだよ。外にいたら悪いか？別に構わないけど。
Plus this scene is already very similar, or at least very familiar, because the exact same thing happened when she tried to tail Suo. Chidori showed up, and I think Erika legit had to break her promise right in front of her without her knowing. The fact that I can't skip, though, makes me wonder, or tells me that this is not the same scene.
そろそろ肌寒くなってきた。部屋に戻った方がいい。寒くないけど、エリカは戻らないの？私はもう少し夕涼みしていくよ。肌寒くなってきたのに？約束の第二外国語の勉強だけど、これから教えてもらうのはダメかしら？悪いが、そいつは後にしてくれないか。ちょいと用事が詰まっていてね。
Yeah, and it does seem like this is going the same way.
昨日もそう言って後回しにしたでしょ？そうだったか？話は後だ。それじゃな。
With classic anime timing, cuts her off at the worst spot.
ちょっと話は終わってないわよ、エリカ。
So this is all the same.
ちょいと散歩だよ。
I really can't remember
お前もどうした？
what was
ウサギのご機嫌伺いか？
in that previous scene. Approaching the end of chapter 4 here.
聞いたことない曲ですね。
Seeing the precious few days of summer vacation that they have, and we know how they're going to spend it, but does anything happen in the interim?
So れじゃあ、際どい水着を着てくるなら言ってやるよ。目の保養だ。
Sorry, I just had to hear her make that snarky comment. Through no fault of her own, I might add, Erica is totally being petty here, and I think she knows it. Chapter 4 ends mostly the same. And it's important it ties into these scenes that we've been these little scenes that we've been able to choose, the new ones, because Chidori sings for her, and it's the first time that we hear that song not through a radio filter. I say that kind of literally, too, because every time you heard it in-game, it sounded like it was coming through a radio from very far away. But no new information was revealed about it. We're coming closer and closer to more recent territory here, with the play coming up, and the burning question of who's going to play Princess Aurora. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, just look at the typos that run rampant in this game. It's not as bad as Volume 1, I think, but just the fact that there are so many, and I feel like I had to point them out at every turn, just kind of speaks to it. I don't want to call it lazy. I don't know exactly why it ended up like it did, but it seems lazy, and it comes off as lazy. And yeah, with something as important as a song, like, I've been hinting that there's more to it than, you know, that it just sounds sad, or that Erica listens to it and has some thoughts about it. There's probably some meaning behind it that we could analyze and parse to our heart's content. But not if you don't know Japanese, because they didn't translate it.
Sugenaku 方眼びいきに聞こえるだろうが、千鳥かな。
I'd love to listen to the CD dramas, honestly. If only I could understand them. Or if there are fan subs out there, kind souls who would do such a thing.
Zuibun to monoganashii koi janai ka yo. Ano toki yorimo mune ni semaru no. Anna ni aoku natte ita mono no.
With that one observation, she's figured it out.
Kusso.
That seems more or less the same. She just kind of keyed into the fact that the song in that moment was a true reflection.
シトラス風味のカッペリーニがメインか。カッペリーニを見るとそうめんが食べたくなるよな。
A true reflection of her emotions. Chidori's gonna blow up at her. Probably gonna skip that.
私も乙女だぞ。そっち系の話も当然知っているよ。
No, this is all familiar. We've seen it before. Might just be a little coding error. Them not allowing me to skip at that moment in time.
噂なんて広めてないよ。これからする。
I told you I'd be bitter about this for a while, and I still am, for overlooking just what should have been a hint that Erica continually mentioned Okem's razor, so of course it would be a factor in solving this. It's just so obvious in hindsight. And of course we know the answer to this one as well. People eventually caught Suo sneaking out to the clubhouse after hours to dig through the records, look through evidence of Mayuri, eventually dig up the paintings that she left in the art room. So that's chapter 5. We're into the final chapter now, I think. And the final additional scene probably before we head into the epilogue. Maybe, just a guess.
His 好きなものとかを書いているのは知ってるけど、嫌いなものってのは書いてないのか?
Like, knowing that the bombshell they dropped on us at the end of Volume 1 isn't out of the realm of possibility, they just really like to, you know, wrench your heart around a bit, to say the least. This was sort of like... I was a little thrown off as to why this didn't light up and correspond with the choice, and I'm still confused about that. I'm sorry, I love this scene. It's very sweet and intimate, and it's such a refreshing look at their relationship. Just considering all of, you know, all of the turmoil and the BS that they went through, mostly of their own accord, of course, but of course I have to skip it for the sake of time, and you know, we've seen it all before, and I had my opportunity to comment on it already. This is all the same. Chidori makes a very bold proposal. I guess I mean, okay, I don't get the opportunity to access the menu right now. Yeah, very heavy, but, you know, the play itself is very heavy on the technical terms. It's written like, you know, it almost like you should be familiar with ballet and how it works. And no, I miss my opportunity to skip again, or just to go ahead to the next. Or, there are no choices after this, actually. That was the last one, so maybe I was right to allow this to play out. But in regards to what I was saying about just like how this is written, like just, it's like the large use of technical terms and just the overall production that just seems to go into this play definitely speaks volumes to how seriously they take it. Sorry, that does not look like Rika at all. She is almost unrecognizable like that. Seeing her in the opening sequence like that, I thought that was Suo. No joke. But of course, you know, Suo is Red Riding Hood, and that expression is definitely not one that she's used to wearing. This sort of maybe quiet confidence, of course, until she's caught by the Grey Wolf. But yeah, like, I think this, you know, this entire sequence succeeded because they seemed like they knew what they were talking about. And that I personally could take this seriously as, you know, a legitimate ballet production, even, you know, being the filthy casual that I am. And once again, it's over. Okay. Skip. We're coming up on the end here again. But what's different? Oh gosh, don't tell me I picked the wrong choices in the additional scenes that we were given. That would just be a disaster. Definitely agree with that. And she's always with her braids, so it's like, who are you? And you know, we're here at the where we were just approximately 24 hours ago. Their relationship has finally come to a head, and happily ever after, right? Fade to white, but different ending screen. So far, all that's really changed within the main story. I mean, it makes sense if you're going to add scenes but keep everything else the same, that those scenes that you add don't affect the story as a whole, and that really all you can do with that is to tack something on. Well, I don't want to tack, not tack, that sounds like it's lazy, but add something onto the end. Yeah, you did say epilogue, right? Still nervous. I just, you know, it's hard not to want the best for these characters, because they're just, not only are they it's possible for a character to be well written and, you know, not likable or not relatable. Not every character is like quote unquote supposed to be like inherently good or relatable in that way, but this game does a good job of doing just that and making me root for them, if anything. And, you know, a little fun fact, the singer of the ending sequence there, I think of the first one, the one in the first ending sequence that played yesterday, and, oh, okay. Sorry, before I continue with this, because we are now in the epilogue, the singer of that ending sequence, or the ending theme, sang the opening theme for Volume 1, it was also called Flowers, sung by Shimotsuki Haruka, I think. Yeah, it's nice. It's just a nod to like the continuity. Same. it just you know, it does seem kind of final in a way. I would say pardon the pun, but that's not, you know, it's where the word comes from. Okay, we're now, but of course it's not really over. We're now into the epilogue, and considering it opens with Chidori's song, her signature song, you could probably call it, makes sense. It was the recurring thread that linked to the scenes that we revisited and that we got to explore just a little bit more. Doesn't that sound kind of like someone we know? Probably me reading too much into it. Also, Suo did say she attended school for a year prior to coming here, but she didn't say exactly when that was. Also, she called herself very awkward and that she didn't really make friends there.
長い眠り目覚めた瞳映るのはあなたの笑顔と美しく咲く花抱きしめてすべてをなかなか上手じゃない。声をかけずにもっと聞いていればよかった。
In the words, or to quote the great Randy Jackson, kinda pitchy dog, but not terrible. Like, she has a general grasp of the pitch, as I've said before, and really I think her talking about how bad she is and how she's never cut out for singing was probably a little bit of an over-exaggeration. And like I said, when you compare yourself to someone as talented as Chidori, who seems to have perfect pitch, which not everyone is lucky enough to have, even if you are a good vocalist, like, of course you're gonna put yourself down, you know? I do like the background music here. It's a instrumental arrangement of what Chidori was singing. And of course it's beautiful. Every soundtrack, or every background track in this game is beautiful. And it's just what makes this game so aesthetically pleasing.
「私が歌っているのを見て笑ってたんだろう」そんなことない。とても上手だったわ。
So we finally see why she's so down on herself. I forget, did she say that one of her sisters was like a singer? She did say one of them was good at ballet. Maybe it's the same one, like Chidori.
私はエリカと一緒に歌いたい。今の私が私でいられるのはエリカ、あなたのおかげなのだから。そうだな。一緒に歌おうぜ、相棒。さあ歌いましょう、エリカ。
If I may, I think that's it. Let's confirm this right here by going to the menu. There it is. With that, we've officially achieved the true ending. I ask that you please forgive me for being so pessimistic about it leading into it, because I was like, oh, you know, they could still throw a curveball at us, and they could be like, oh, I'm sorry, but Chidori Takasaki has left the academy, and then I would quit this series forever. But seeing it, you know, they don't have it in them to pull that a second time kind of warms my heart, and especially so that how do I say it? I guess when you think about like the things in Chidori's life that were important, ballet is like first place, basically. It's what she said gave her, like, you know, the reason, her parents the reason to talk to her, to pay attention to her, to give her like the sort of the attention that she really did crave from them that they usually weren't able to provide for her. Singing, on the other hand, well, ballet has singing in it, does it, or is it just music, or like musical accompaniment? I'm kind of like regarding them as separate things here, but I guess the question here even at the end of all of this is, why does she do it? You know, it's obvious that she's very good at it. And her backstory, Chidori's backstory, is that she worked in the entertainment industry. But why does she go outside and practice and sing every morning, you know? It wasn't for Erika, obviously, at first. They didn't even like each other. I guess at some point it did become about her. You know? You're right. Do you mean the bad endings, or because we haven't unlocked all the bad endings yet? And me being a completionist, I do want to do that at some point. But I guess even more so than the making out that Erika and Chidori indulged in at the end of Chapter 6, I guess the singing together was the more romantic gesture of the two. And in a way, like, in a very symbolic and metaphorical kind of way, it could be Erika sort of, like, ridding herself of the burden, like, of the sort of the burden of her relationship with her family, because, like, for better and for worse, it seems like they have had a very formative influence on her, even as something as, like, seemingly trivial, well, not always trivial, but in her case, she only regarded it as a hobby, trivial as singing. It affected her so deeply, just like a comment from her family, her sister, family member, affected her to the point that she would never do it. And Chidori getting her to open up about it, and them partaking in that together is, you know, it's both a symbolic and a romantic gesture in that regard. So I guess what the game was probably trying to do there was say that, like, the true, like, romance and whatnot and those sort of sappy things doesn't lie in the physical intimacy. It lies in the emotional intimacy. That being the true end, them singing together. Even though we didn't get to hear it, I'm low-key kind of wanted them to harmonize. A guy can dream, I guess. But them choosing to end the game on that note is, or put the true end on that note, is probably telling me that that's the message that they wanted to send. And so with that, we are officially done. With Chidori's route anyway. As I said before when I was thinking that I wrapped up this series in the past video, we're not done. I want to play through, I want to, you know, go and get the rest of these. And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, I have been operating under this assumption the entire time, the other route in this game is Suo's, and I want to play it. You know, it's true that, like, if the other route is Suo's, and I'm not being, you know, I'm not only misleading myself, but anyone who's dumb enough to listen to me, if Suo does have her route, there would definitely be some, you know, difficulties and emotional baggage that comes along with that, because she probably thinks that in a way that herself and Mayuri are probably meant for each other, and you can call that belief as childish and idealistic as you want, but she still hangs on to it. Even now, when Mayuri's gone, that's just my second-hand armchair analysis. And so, she would probably feel like she would be using Erika. Hey, I'm trying to make a point here. There's nothing wrong with making out as a very, you know, obvious display of romance, but it was just a nice gesture to see them in the game like that. And not only that, but I was just happy that, you know, they didn't do the whole Chidori has left the academy BS that I was low-key afraid of. But what I was like, you know, if Suo does have her out, there would be like some sort of regret. Yeah. Rika really does get the short end of the stick in this game, like, in this entire series, too. Like, she sort of is, like, the unfortunate recipient of, like, Chidori's wrath, too. She gets injured because of Chidori, because they push themselves too hard. And, like, and it was, like, just this semblance of, you know, the demons of Chidori's past. She had nothing, she was just kind of, like, in the line of fire in that way, and that was just, I felt really bad for her, even considering what she did in Volume 1, which wasn't exactly noble. I'll have time to, you know, comment more on this when I come back in a couple weeks and we pick this up again to play through the rest of the endings, whatever that entails. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and, you know, I'm not done with this game. Like, I love it, you know? Like, withholding any final opinions just on the true. No, I've spoken my piece about the true ending, and I really like what they're trying to go for there, but we're not done. Maybe they're just vindictive. And yeah, I mean, it's not like seeing Rika just sort of always get shafted, or you know what I mean, always like be so unlucky to be on the receiving end of these sort of unfortunate situations is. It kind of makes it does make you feel bad for her, because, like I said, even though her intentions and like what she did in Volume 1 wasn't the best and made me dislike her just for that brief stretch of time, I think she did come to her senses eventually, and that she's overall like not someone like she has more good in her than bad, to put it in very black and white terms. I'm kind of glad that she's sort of a main character in this, or that she gets her own fair share of screen time, and I'm sure that's not going to change, even as we progress further in the series. But I've sat here and talked at the title screen for too long. I'm so happy that we got to knock out this true ending, you know, in somewhat timely fashion, and really complete Chidori's route in that manner. Thank you all for watching and for sticking around for this. Hope to see more in the future. Definitely expect to see more in the near future of this game. You know, like, I guess the eventual goal is to have, like, just have a very complete account on YouTube of, like, this entire game, basically, or as complete as we can get it, except, you know, intentionally going for bad ends a little bit, maybe, I don't know, maybe for the heck of it, I could show that, but I might just do that in my own time. Regardless, this isn't the last you're seeing from me about this, and I look forward to playing more, and once again, thank you all for watching and for being a wonderful audience. For the last time on Chidori's Route, this is Ottermelon signing out. Thank you all for watching.